Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Audrey Matheson. I am the president of the Allentown School District Board of Directors. On behalf of the district and of the Board of Directors, I want to welcome everyone here today to announce an expanded partnership with Bloomsburg University. This is really exciting. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize some special guests. Here today is Senator Pat Brown. Also joining us is Representative Pete Schweier and Representative Mike Schlossberg, excuse me.
It happens a lot, Audrey, don't worry.
No, it's me. We are also joined by my fellow board members, Vice President Elizabeth Martinez, Ms. Phoebe Harris, Cheryl Johnson-Watts, and Robert Smith Jr., Mr. Charlie Thiel. Excuse me, this is an illness that's causing this. I would also like to thank Dr. Bashar Hanna, President of Bloomsburg, and his team for traveling to Allentown today. This is an exciting day for ASD as we strive to expand our partnerships and increase access to higher education for all of our students. And on that note, I'd like to introduce Representative Pete Schweier, who's been critical to this work.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us. I'd like to thank all of our special guests for this really incredible and wonderful announcement that we have here. Earlier today, I was at Central Elementary School, and I got a chance to read to an amazing second grade class down in the basement. And in case you're wondering, I've been asked this question a bunch of times. It was The Growing Tree by Shel Silverstein is what we wrote today. Or The Giving Tree, excuse me. And we had this wonderful, wonderful moment. These kids were so smart, and they were so engaged, and they were so wonderful. And we were talking about the lessons that we were reading about in the story, about friendship, about what it means to be a good friend, what it means about what the real important things are. It wasn't the leaves or the apples or the branches or the trunk of the tree, but it was the friendship at the very end that really is what made everybody happy. And these incredible second graders were getting it immediately. We were engaged in conversation, and of course afterwards we start asking what they want to do when they grow up, and the number of students there that want to be police officers or teachers or so many other things that they'd thrown out that day was just awesome. And I grew up at 10th and Shoe. I grew up 2 blocks away from Central Elementary School. And I say I grew up there, I really bounced around a lot. I lived in 9 places by the time I was 18 years old. I was a super poor kid who struggled too growing up. And I realized that I was lucky. I had advantages, I had an opportunity. And these kids in second grade at Central Elementary School just really are looking for the same opportunities that I was fortunate enough to have by happenstance, by luck. And what we're doing today is providing an opportunity, a chance, to kids who, because of circumstances completely out of their control, may not have that chance, that opportunity to grow up and replace me in the legislature someday, replace our teachers, be our next generation of community leaders, of architects, of engineers, of public servants. And it is a remarkable, remarkable thing that Bloomsburg is doing today. A little bit of background, just very, very briefly. I'd like to joke, in fact, Senator Brown and I were just talking about this, about how we both do petulant pretty well. And I got a little petulant with PASHE. For those of you who are unfamiliar, PASHE is the Pennsylvania state system of higher education, of which Bloomsburg is a part of. And during appropriations hearings back in February, we realized that the number of black and brown students that were admitted as freshmen at PASHE was at a historically low number, or at least a recently historically low number. And we were talking about it, and frankly, the system did not have a very good answer as to why. But to their credit, they were looking for solutions. They were looking for ways to be able to reverse that trend. Not only is it important for the 14 schools in the PASHE system to be able to tap into that group of students for their own financial well-being and for their own success, but more importantly, for us in places like Allentown, we need to make sure that our students have those opportunities to get high quality yet affordable education. And so PASHE, to their credit, was willing to step up, and they asked the schools around Allentown who'd be willing to step up. And immediately President Hanna, who happened to grow up on the east side of Allentown, raised his hand and said, "We're up, we're in." And that's how this conversation started and happened. And I will let my friends and colleagues, the people that really did the hard work of all this, certainly much more than just simply mouthing off at a budget hearing, explain how this all came together and the details of this really, really remarkable agreement that's going to do so much for our kids here in the Allentown schools. And so with that, I'm going to introduce my friend, the Superintendent, Thomas Parker. Thomas, where are you at?
Good afternoon. Thank you for coming out today. Thank you for being a part of a historic and life-changing opportunity for some of the children that we serve. Let me start with just a quote. As an organizational core value, equity will be aligned with outcomes and accountability at the department, building, classroom, and student levels. This district-wide approach to equity is necessary to ensure students are provided with the opportunities, support, and resources required for quality post-secondary experiences and to prepare our students as global citizens in the digital age. That is the Allentown School District commitment to equity from the Allentown School District strategic framework. So I have to begin by saying for the Allentown School District Board of Directors who set the path 2 years ago that this was a district that would invest in equity and invest in opportunity and access for our children that we serve, who a large portion of whom are students that are poor, and a large portion of our students are Black and brown. Today is the culmination of that vision for equity for children in the Allentown School District. Nearly a year ago, I received a call from Representative Schweier after he was petulant in a conversation saying that we needed to have a meeting and he wanted me to sit down and have a conversation with the president of Bloomsburg. I said, okay. I hadn't met him before, but I knew that there was a program at Deera. So my first call was to Mike McCool, the new principal of Deera High School, to say, I have this call, there's an opportunity, I want you to come sit with me to have a conversation with Bloomsburg. And just the way that we processed the opportunity just kind of rolled from there. There was a high level of commitment from Representative Schweier, a high level of commitment from President Hanna, and a high level of commitment from Mr. McCool to expand some of the work that had been happening at Deera to a district-wide initiative so that we created opportunity and access for a number of students that, and I say it again and again, generationally changes the lives of the children that we serve. The Allentown School District each year launches 2,000 students, 2,000 graduates into either the workforce or the college force here in the Lehigh Valley. We are the #1 producer of college and workforce entrance each year. And this and future opportunities really speak to our level of commitment to ensuring that 2,000 students that walk out of our doors each year have access and opportunity to generationally change their lives. So thank you for your commitment, board. Thank you for your commitment, Mr. McCool, Representative Schweier, Representative Schlossberg, Senator Brown, President Hanna. This is absolutely amazing, and I'm excited to be a part of it. With that, I would love to turn the podium over to Bloomsburg University President, Dr. Hanna.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Good afternoon, everyone. It's both an honor and a privilege to be standing here before you today. As an immigrant, if it weren't for the teachers of Ritter Elementary School, that kid who spoke not a single word of English in 5th grade would not have this amazing opportunity to stand before you as the president of the 3rd largest state institution in Pennsylvania. I'm humbled by the fact that Mike McCool called me when I became president and said, can we do something together for the kids of Deera High School? I sat with my team and we dubbed it the Husky to Husky Partnership. As you know, Deera are the Huskies and so is Bloomsburg University. And this past fall, 12 young men and women enrolled at Bloomsburg University, as freshmen pursuing their college education as a result of that initial conversation. And then when Representative Schweier was given the chancellor of the business during the hearing,
You're welcome.
I chased him down in the halls of the Capitol right after. And I introduced myself and I told him I was a product of the east side of Allentown, that I had attended Ritter Elementary, and if it weren't for those wonderful teachers, God knows what would have become of me. I introduced him to the idea of the Husky to Husky, and then requested from him to sit down with Mr. Parker so we can expand this partnership to every graduating student from every one of the Allentown School District high schools. And that's how the ball got rolling. Representative Schweier reached out to Mr. Parker, and here we are today. In academic years, this is lightning speed. That's just a reality. But as Representative Schweier said, and as Mr. Parker said, it takes a village. And I'm here with a fair number of my colleagues from Bloomsburg University, without whose consistent efforts and pushing and prodding to make these partnerships reality, today would not be possible. So I thank all of my colleagues at Bloomsburg for reaching out to DRF, reaching out to the school district to make sure that this partnerships becomes reality for the students of Allentown and the students of the Allentown School District. You heard, as an immigrant, Allentown is always near and dear to my heart. My parents settled here. 936 East Turner Street is still the place I call home. My father built that home. We moved into it. My mother passed away in that home a little more than a year ago. Allentown will always be home. There is absolutely nothing that I'm not willing to do to make sure every young student in the Allentown School District has the opportunity to earn a college degree. A college degree is something that no one can ever take away from a student. Once you earn it, no one can question your grit, your integrity, your hard work, and your ability to overcome challenges. At Bloomsburg, we call that the onward and upward way. And the reality is, I'm here to partner with every one of the students from all the high schools in Allentown to make sure your dreams of earning a college degree become reality. The way to middle class and above in our country is through a college degree. And if I can be a small inspiration that a kid who spoke no English at the age of 10 has this amazing opportunity to stand in front of you and welcome you to your second home, Bloomsburg, then I'm humbled and honored to be able to do that. The scholarships we've created will give every student in the school district, based on their academic abilities, the ability to earn a merit-based scholarship at Bloomsburg University. So we're taking an already affordable education and making it more affordable for the students of the Allentown School District. I'm humbled by the invitation. I'm humbled to be standing before you. And again, this year we have 33 students from the Allentown School District at Bloomsburg. My goal is to make that 500 within the next 5 years. It's an amazing goal, and I look forward to working with each and every one of you to make sure that our goals and aspirations for these young people are met, because a brighter future awaits them when they earn their degree. Thank you so much for coming out today. Board members, thank you for all your support. Our elected officials, without you, this would not have happened. So thank you for prodding, pushing, and encouraging. Thank you so very much. And now I have the honor of introducing my good friend and a gentleman who graduated from the same high school I did, Senator Pat Brown. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm just pleased to be here to join in celebrating an example of extraordinary, innovative, petulant leadership. And just to acknowledge my friend and colleague, Representative Schweier, Dr. Hanna, and the leadership of Bloomsburg for what should be a model across Pennsylvania for our state-owned institutions. Pete knows that nothing worthwhile is easy, and it's a fight. And to put himself out there like that and make it known what is important when we need to is what makes a difference. And Pete, congratulations for your leadership. It's tremendous. We all know the challenges a student had for access. It's well known in Pennsylvania, well known throughout the nation. But what is tragic is when a student applies themselves and works hard and tries to develop their talents and still can't have access to what is one of the most tremendous portfolios of higher education institutions anywhere in the nation, just because of where they're coming from and who they are, and their access to resources. These type of innovative approaches is what we need to be looking for to make sure that what is necessary for our students in the 21st century is available to all. One of the things we did this year in the General Assembly, Democrat, Republican, House, Senate, Governor has commissioned a commission on higher education funding. Because frankly, our conversation on higher education funding for many years has been pretty rudimentary. It has not been innovative. It's been how much additional money we have, how much can we give to colleges, and that's about it. It should honor institutions that look at access, that look at equity as part of that overall conversation, to make sure those institutions are willing to step up and show leadership like Bloomsburg is today, rise to the top. In any community, any city, any state, there's nothing more unfortunate than underutilized talent. This will make sure that many more students in the Allentown School District can utilize their talents for their own benefit, their family, and the rest of Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I did the most important thing and represent and recognize my colleague for some comments that represent Schlossberg.
Hi everyone, I don't remember who I am at this point. My name is Mike Schlossberg. I'm the state rep for the other half of the Allentown School District, and I'm going to speak briefly and say two fundamental truths that no politician should ever say from a microphone. First and foremost, and I say this with cameras here and Facebook Live running, I had absolutely nothing to do with this. Absolutely nothing. But I say that to make a broader point. This was an initiative which was started by the petulance of Representative Schweier and by the willingness of Bloomsburg and the Allentown School District to work with us. Now, we keep using the word petulance. I think persistence is a better P word right now, because we have to recognize that our students face some fundamental obstacles that students in other school districts don't. And if not for the hard work of all involved, led by my friend and legislative twin, Representative Schweier, this wouldn't have happened. And as much as it pains me, because we have a playful rivalry, I do want to make sure we acknowledge that. So congratulations, Pete, and thank you for that. Second, and this one's far more damning. I'm originally from New Jersey. I'm sorry. I know immigration is a real problem in America right now, and it's a foreign country, but now I say that because I want to talk about how I got here. I came to the city of Allentown through Muhlenberg. As an 18-year-old college kid, went to Muhlenberg College, walked in the doors, and fell in love with this place. I had a wonderful college opportunity, I had a wonderful college experience, and my senior year interned with State Representative Jennifer Mann. Under her then Chief of Staff, Peter Schweier, I still found a way to survive. And it was through those experiences at Muhlenberg, the academic foundation that Muhlenberg created for me, and then the internship, that I fell in love with this city and I fell in love with the idea of public service. I mention that to make a broader point. My college experience formed the foundation for who I am today. But we also have to acknowledge some really fundamental truths. I grew up a rich white kid from New Jersey, and a lot of our students don't have the same access and don't have the same resources. So our jobs as elected officials needs to be to make sure that every one of the students in the Allentown School District has an opportunity. Now, our job in government isn't to guarantee success, but it is to guarantee access. It is to guarantee opportunity. And it is to guarantee the chance for any student who wants it. And that's why this is such a big deal today, because so many of the structural barriers that our Allentown students face, at least one of them is going to get knocked down today by the signing of this guaranteed admissions agreement. And that's why I'm so proud to stand here today and so proud to speak to you all. And with that, I get to conclude this thing, and we all actually get to go to the important part, the signing of the agreement. So, Mr. Parker, I turn it over to you, sir.
Thank you. If I could have President Matheson and President Hannah. and I'm sorry, this wasn't planned, but we have 3 students here from Deer High School. I would love for them to come stand with us. 2 of them are actually like.
She was so much shade on the way in. It's fantastic.
Ask him about his red sweaters. He loves that.
Ask about how Michigan did against Michigan State.
I like what he said.
The one he doesn't like, his team. I like it
We are losing, Thomas.
Yes.
too. Simon, nice to meet you. Just a She has a long name. You wearing your Halloween socks? It's Halloween. You're not wearing your Halloween socks?
Blue and gray light.
We're done, sir. This is a phenomenal practice. I'm saving this. It means a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. I'd love to come on.